remember anything about the OBS.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I'm ready. You got some questions for me? Can do this.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, first we are about to the what is that? Oh yeah. How are you today?
Good. Doing good. Just
Yeah.
just hanging out.
It's very awkward. It's very awkward. So,
That's fine.
yeah. What
okay.
is your name, sir?
My name's Jason.
Jason. So, Jason.
And
how old are you?
How do I pronounce your name? Haikal.
My name is Haikal. My name is Haikal. Yeah.
Haikal. Okay, I did it right. Nice.
Haikal.
What were you asking?
How old are you, sir? How old are you, sir?
I'm 30 years old.
30 years old. And I 21 years old.
21, right. I remember those days.
Okay. So, where do you work? Where do you work? So,
I own my own company, so I work for myself. I do run an entertainment company with multiple podcasts and YouTube channels. So I do entertainment industry.
Okay. So the first question is, can you tell me a bit about your country and its culture?
Yeah, that's a really broad question. I'll do my best. Yeah, well, I'm from the United States and from West Virginia specifically, which is like northeast U.S. And yeah, it's very different from Indonesia for sure. It's probably the best way to do it is compare the two cultures. And the U.S. is has a very secular culture, which means a lot of people they don't incorporate religion as part of their day-to-day activities. It's like they separate their personal life and what they normally do from what they believe, which is very different from Indonesia. Because that's one of the first things I noticed coming to Indonesia is that they're very closely intertwined, religion and people's personal daily activities in their lives. So that's one thing. Is it's if you go to the U.S. and the U.S. culture is they separate that a lot. So it's like very different. It's like people don't publicly like pray, or like they don't like they don't. It's just not like a common thing there. You look very strange if that were to happen. And then, it happens definitely because a lot of different religions and cultures too. Because the U.S. is we call it a melting pot of a bunch of different nationalities. So that's what's cool about the U.S. is there's people from that are there that migrated from Europe or migrated there from Canada and from Mexico, and either they have green card or they got U.S. citizenship. And so you have a bunch of different people from different parts of the world, even Asia too. A lot of Chinese, Japanese, and some Indonesian as well. But the cool thing about it is the culture. It's very like a very singular sort of belief system about individual rights and personal freedom. And a lot of countries don't value that nearly as much as how it's valued in the United States. And it's rooted from the Constitution of the U.S. So the culture is it's very like prideful culture about the United States because of its origins, how it was founded, and how much like freedom of speech and personal liberty and personal freedom is valued there. So that's valued pretty much above anything else in the U.S. So that's and I noticed that a lot in Indonesia too. It's very similar here definitely. But there's still a pretty big difference also. It's like between the cultures. It's hard to explain. So you really actually have to go visit the U.S. if you want to understand it. It's really hard to explain.
I understand. So have a U.S. tradition to value the most.
What was that? You said that again?
Traditional cultural in the U.S.
Oh, traditional culture
You like?
in the U.S.
Yeah.
It depends on where you. It's probably same in Indonesia, but depends on where in the United States you live. The traditional cultures are very different. So if you lived in the southern U.S. like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, southern states of the U.S., it's more of a
It's like a cowboy.
laid back,
It's like
like
a cowboy.
just have a good time type of culture, very low stress and just like chill. Everyone's just chill and and it's actually similar in West Virginia too, where I'm from. And people are very friendly and very just laid back and sort of go with the flow. They don't want to cause problems with other people. And then if you compare that to say like big cities like New York, Miami, Los Angeles is getting pretty bad. Maybe not a great example, but Chicago. I mean, it's a completely different culture there. It's a very fast-paced culture. People they prioritize they prioritize pretty much their job and money over like a lot of stuff. So it's very stressful, and because it's the cost of living in those big cities is insane. It's just so expensive. So it's similar like comparing Jakarta to Bandung. It's very similar. It's like the people in Bandung I notice are much more easygoing and laid back, less stress. And I think it's primarily because the cost of living here is a lot lower than Jakarta. And then in Jakarta you get the culture of just very stressed out, fast-paced people that are trying to make as much money as they can, as fast as possible. And like we were just in Jakarta a couple weeks ago, last week, and we're getting the visa for to go to Europe. And we were at this place, and we ordered a Bluebird to go to the visa application place, and then the Bluebird pulls in, come to pick us up, and we get in the car, and then he accidentally hits a motorbike when he's backing up to leave the breakfast restaurant, and it was a very honest accident, like he didn't mean to do it. But then the motorbike, the Grab driver, completely freaked out. Like he was just lost it. He was just freaking out, and it was demanding that the Bluebird driver, pay him money. But something like that, if it happened in Bandung, the Grab driver would have been very, very chill about it. He would have, just not yell at the person. And so it's same like that. Got that kind of culture difference in the U.S. too. It's cool how they're completely different countries and completely different ethnicity of people, but it's the same kind of culture between like a small town, less populated area, and then a big city. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
very different. Yeah.
So very different, yeah. It's very far.
Yes. Yes. Well, there's a
There's
lot of differences, but also a lot of similarities. So, it's yeah, but yeah. So, anyways, I hope that answered the question.
Okay, understand. So
Okay, understand. So,
And one more thing too with culture, like here are people who live close to each other in Indonesia, like neighbors. They're much more likely to talk to each other and hang out with each other. It's very common here. In the U.S., that's not common. Like if you have neighbors, they normally like to keep to themselves. They don't like usually socialize too much with their other neighbors, and it's like. It's not always the case. Doesn't always happen that way, but it's very common. It's just like not a normal thing to hang out with your neighbors on a regular basis, kind of a deal, which is different. It's different here, so that's another culture thing. It's just socializing with people you don't know. So
yeah, it's. I think.
yeah, it's.
I watch it
I
from
think
the movie.
I watch it from the movie.
I see
It's like
the people in America.
I see the people in
around
America is doesn't like socializing with the people around there.
yeah, they're very like individual people, individualistic. They just like to keep to themselves, and yeah, Dory and I are different. We like to, we don't mind. I mean, we're a little antisocial too. Like we don't like to, be outgoing all the time and talk to strangers or people we don't know. But we also like we like to make new friends and stuff. So it's we're kind of different than other people.
Okay, but
Okay.
beside that,
But beside that,
people in America
people in
typically
America,
they look like
how they typically they look like. Typically they
doing something. People in
something.
How do I say it?
People. How do I say it?
What does typically?
Hold
What
on,
does typically people are doing every day?
Hold on, let me get my headphones on because I have a hard time hearing you. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, can you be louder, okay?
Okay.
So,
Can you ask that again?
So,
what does typically they look
what
like
does typically they look like
in your country?
in your country?
Like appearance
Yeah.
of people in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It's very. I mean, it's very mixed. There's people from all over the world that come to the U.S. and live there, and then there's people that have been there their whole life. They were born there, but no, the U.S. is there's people. I mean, there's Asian people. There's Asian people. There's Middle Eastern people. Middle Eastern people. European people. Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, Myanmar, Vietnam, Japan. I mean, there's people from all over the world. They come there and they try to find opportunities for jobs and work to, make a better life for themselves. Because a lot of countries, they have a limited number of jobs because the economy is not quite as good as the economy in the United States. Because there's a lot more successful companies in the U.S. and they have a lot more jobs available. And so a lot of people from the U.S., a lot of people around the world that attracts the U.S. and either get a green card or try to get citizenship, and then they end up they're able to make a better life for them. We have one of our neighbors in his family. They're from the Philippines, and that's what they did. So they both got green cards initially, and now they're both citizens, I believe. And they work. He works for commercial commercial security company where they like do monitoring for big commercial building security for commercial buildings and stuff. And so I was talking to him about it, and he said, he said that was like the main reason they wanted to move here was because it's just had more opportunity for good good work. So this was people from everywhere. They look so you can't it's like Americans are like that's what's so cool about it. Types of people, they look all different, but they have one common thing, and that's like personal freedom and liberty, and want to be able to make a life for themselves without being restricted by the government or by other people, which a lot of countries that's a problem, where it's the government will make it difficult for people to become successful, and in the US it's not like that. It's dependent on how hard you're willing to work and what skills you're willing to develop. So it's so it's people from
Okay.
So
There's
a lot of people in your country.
I have seen a journal.
It's like
about America.
I have seen a journal about America. It's like
the same as
it's like the same as you.
So if I come to America,
if I come to America,
what place in your country would
you recommend to me?
To visit or to live?
I think to visit.
Just to visit? Short term? I would probably recommend Colorado, which is one of the states in the and because it's one of the most beautiful states. I mean, one of the most beautiful places in the whole world, in my opinion. There's just the Rocky Mountains, there it goes right through Colorado, and it's just there's no place like it. I mean, maybe the next best thing is Switzerland, the Swiss Alps, like with that kind of scenery, but they're just so unique and such a beautiful place that that's definitely one. And then probably another one would be we like to go to because we're only about 4 hour drive away is Niagara Falls on the border of Canada and the US. That's pretty cool. Niagara Falls is the biggest waterfall.
I haven't heard.
Yeah, that's cool.
I haven't heard about Niagara Falls. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's cool experience. They have these little ferries, little boats that will take you around the falls. We've done that a couple times with Noah, our son, and it's really cool. Super fun. So I'd recommend doing that. So
Okay. I'll be
Okay.
on my list.
I'll be writing on my list.
yeah, but Colorado definitely. Have a chance in Colorado. Really cool, and I mean West Virginia is awesome too. We live in West Virginia, and that's just a lot of real people and nice hiking trails and stuff like that. Mountains area also, but nowhere near as pretty as the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. That's just like insane. So nice. Oh.
Okay. So,
Okay.
have you?
But you don't
Have you?
really. All right, keep going. Sorry. All right, keep going. Sorry. It's really. Yeah.
So,
You have to Indonesian before. So what's your impression
when you stay in Indonesia?
when you stay in Indonesia?
Like first impression or like
Yeah, your first
do you mean?
impression.
first impression. Well, first time I went to Indonesia was 6 years ago in 2019, and I went to Bali with my business partner at the time. So it's August 2019, and first impression was oh my gosh, this is crazy because my first impression was the stressful taxi ride from the airport to our hotel we were going to be staying at, and nobody pays attention to the lines on the road in Indonesia. All the cars just do this,
Yeah.
and
It's very.
no one uses their
It's
blinker.
very.
Well, if you
I don't know.
Well, if it's
Don't
in
get-
India, Indian
people in India, it's like
people in India, it's like
same.
same.
How the traffic same in India.
Yeah.
How the traffic same
So let's
in
go-
India.
Like there's like probably I don't know 80% motorbikes and 20% cars. So it's like opposite from U.S. So we're very not really not used to that. Like in the U.S. you'll see a motorcycle maybe maybe like 5 to 10%, probably like 5% of like all the everything on the road is a motorcycle. The other 95+% are cars. So it's like a very different feeling, in the U.S. So then when you come to a country like Indonesia where it's completely flipped and they're mostly motorbikes, it's stressful because like you got these motorbikes
Yeah.
passing stop. And so we were I was like holding on to the handle of the car, like making sure like and cars here, the car Indonesia too are a lot smaller. Like they're they're designed for Indonesian because Indonesian are a little bit smaller, a little shorter, a little smaller stature. So the cars are like the same. They're smaller than the cars in most of the cars in the U.S. And so that was another thing that we noticed. Like the cars were very small, and then the traffic was nuts. But then once we got to where we were going, the hotel, and got to the beach and stuff, like it was unbelievable. So we've never been to any like beach quite like that they have in Bali. It's pretty incredible. So we were super excited. I mean, it was like that was probably one of the best times in my life was our trip to Bali in 2019. That was so cool. And then we went to, after that from Bali, we went to Jakarta and Bandung, visited both those, and then also Yogyakarta and Malang. And then my business partner, he did the Mount Bromo, hike Mount Bromo,
Oh yeah, I know.
near Yogyakarta,
I
and
know. Yes, I know.
I should have
Yeah,
went,
I know.
but I didn't go. Yeah, I didn't go that one, but it looked really cool. And so yeah, first impression, like, man, I can't believe it took us this long to go, travel the world and go to somewhere like Indonesia, because it's so from the U.S. and
You like hiking?
also
You like
noticed-
hiking?
a little bit. I like hiking a little bit. It's not like
If you-
I don't hike all
if
the
you
time.
want-
but
If you want to try hiking,
Go to the Rinjani Mountain.
go to the Rinjani Mountain.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, that's very
That's
beautiful.
pretty
Yeah,
big, right?
that's very beautiful, sir.
Cool.
I
All right.
recommend you.
I
Maybe we'll
recommend
do
you
that.
to go there if you want hiking.
But another thing about the first impression also is that people in Indonesia are like, or first impression were they were very kind and respectful. Most people very kind, respectful, and excited that foreigners are visiting their country, which is a different experience in the U.S. Like in the U.S., people like when they go, foreigners come and visit there, it's like a very regular, it's a normal thing because the U.S. is already like a mix of a bunch of different nationalities, so it's not anything surprising seeing someone like from another country come visit there. So it's like no one comes up to them and like says, "Oh, hey, can I take a picture with you? Like that's so cool." Like But when we go to Indonesia, as like from the U.S., like everyone wanted to take a picture with us. I remember like wanted to like hang out with us, and it was like such a cool experience. We felt very welcome and very like safe, because we could tell that we were welcomed in the country. So that was kind of cool. So that was my first Indonesia, and it's always really been like that since then. Everyone's been very, very kind. So
Okay, understand.
Yeah.
Understand. So, okay.
good
So,
people. Yeah.
Beside America, uh, in America, what is your favorite food? And Indonesia, what is your favorite food?
Favorite food in America is Chick-fil-A, without a doubt.
Chicken fillet. Okay,
Chick-fil-A.
okay. I haven't heard.
Chick-fil-A is the absolute best chicken sandwich you'll ever have in your life.
Okay.
It is. I'm craving one right now. Actually, they're amazing. So,
Okay.
because that's food I like. The bule food, makanan bule. But for Indonesia, makanan bule is easy for me to think of. Indonesia, makanan dari Indonesia that's more. But I like this is a new noodle dish that I tried recently called yamin.
Yummy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I really like and like really good nasi goreng, like fresh nasi goreng
Okay.
or nasi goreng. How you say that? It's really good. And then what else?
Rendang.
Ayam bakar too. Some
Ayam
ayam
bakar.
bakar.
Okay.
That's good too. So
Have
Probably
you
my
tasted
favorite
rendang
Indonesian.
before.
no, I don't think so. Maybe I can't remember.
You need to try it. It's very flavorful.
Rendang?
Yes.
Okay,
Rendang.
I'll have to check on.
Oh, you never you haven't eat rendang before.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I tried it when I like back 6 years ago when I first came here, but because I didn't know what anything was called then, it was my first time.
Okay.
maybe- Know that I did, So who knows?
Okay. So, when you study in your college before,
Shower.
how do students in your country express their opinion to concern or concern?
No, did you love on to aircon, please?
I don't understand. Can you say it again?
How do a student in your country express their opinion and or concern?
I want to put your aircon.
Students, like college students,
Yes.
express their opinion or concern. Usually they do it with they'll form like groups. Like if like there's a group of college kids that are like either want to protest something or they want to start a group that's they about something that they disagree with and want there to be change, then they build these communities, these groups, and then they all come to, they usually will like have monthly or weekly meetings where they meet up and they work on a problem or something, whatever it is that they are trying to change, whether it's at their university or whether it's a more serious issue like with like the laws in the country or something like that. They'll work together on that, and so they make college groups, and then they they come up with ideas to work on whatever the problem is. So
Understand.
a lot of times if it's something political or something about the either government, either in the state or the federal level, they will write letters or hold like meetings and stuff where they, will publicly talk about it and stuff like that. So
Okay,
yeah,
understand. So,
I think I think it's the same in Indonesia, right? Indonesia has everyone in every citizen has the freedom of speech, right? The
yeah,
government here doesn't infringe on a person's ability to say what they want to say, right?
yeah, yeah,
Same. Okay, cool.
same.
That's the same in the
Uh,
U.S.
but uh, right now, I
Yellow.
think the people
What's the
as my age
This is more.
is not always express their opinion because
When this
uh,
Yeah.
the situation will makes them
would you
make
like
feel
that?
guilty to express their opinion.
Yeah, like guilty or feel
Yeah,
shameful, like to.
yeah, yes, yes. Or what is that? To care, I think.
Scared of like right, of people judging you because
Yes,
you're speaking
yeah,
something.
yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I have a lot to say on this topic because I used to be like that when I was in college. I used to be afraid to like speak what I am actually thinking and tell people what I'm actually or how I actually feel about something because yeah, I was afraid of being judged by people that were either my friends or other students that I cared about their opinion, and I wanted them to like me. And that's actually the worst thing you could possibly do now that I'm older when I think back to it because um, you really should other people's opinion at all if it's actually the right thing to do. Like if there's something that you really believe is right or should be changed, like the only person you should care about is yourself in that situation and not care about other people judging you because if someone like that, like yourself, a college student, was was basing their decision to speak out about something or to take action about something, was basing that off of whether they're going to be judged from someone or not, then you're not firm in like your belief system, like you're not strong in what you actually believe, and then that's going to affect that person later in life when more difficult circumstances come in life. It's that person is going to have hard time because they're not strong in their belief, so they don't stand up for their belief. They maybe say something, but their actions don't follow what they say. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I didn't. I understand.
it's not good for people to now. I mean, I used to not think this way, but after being out of college and being in the real world for a while now, I quickly realized that like the quicker you can understand and realize that nobody actually really cares about what you're doing, and like it's only you who actually really cares about your success and what you're doing. It changes what you focus on and how you view the world because that's the reality, is as something they're working on, something they're focusing on. So you can't worry about what other people think about you or if you're going to be judged from people or not, because it's just irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It's not important. So
Understand?
yeah,
It's very, yeah, understand. So,
trying
uh,
wisdom from my recent life experiences. So,
I feel like
No,
yeah,
Mama.
you need
Take me
in this in this
on tree rope.
in this age, like in this, you need to,
this time,
yeah, in this time we need to quick understand the situation. Like in Indonesia right now,
yeah,
the government is like very big corruption, and it makes me like
Mm-hmm.
to go out of this. I want to go out from
Yeah.
Indonesia, like so much
Well, yeah, and that's
problem in Indonesia. It's very hard to get job
yeah,
and doesn't pay it well.
yeah, yeah. It is. I can tell it's a difficult economy here for a lot of people, and
Yeah.
it, I mean, it's definitely not as bad in the U.S. because there's more job opportunities, obviously, because it's a much bigger economy in the U.S. But it's also the cost of living is much higher than the U.S. too. So everything is relative. So, and it's the same similar situation in the U.S. with the government, at least during the Biden administration, with Joe Biden when he was president, because I mean, I don't know. You guys are probably aware of the fact that he was, his mind was not good. He was not able to think for himself on like major political issues or economic, problems in the country. He had these team of people who were very anti-America, very against freedom, individual freedom, about people being able to make a lot of money, be able to make a good living for themselves. Like they're essentially passing these laws and regulations trying to turn the United States into a socialist regime, socialist country, and it was founded on capitalism. And then this created a lot of tension with most Americans because uh, most Americans understand that socialism is one of the worst forms of government possible. It always will end in tyranny and famine. It's really bad. And so what Joe Biden was doing in the U.S. is it was really frustrating to a lot of people because he was passing these socialist agendas, these laws that were trying to make it so people who worked hard for their money and were wealthy and they earned it, they were now having to pay higher taxes to the government because of all these welfare programs for poor people. And it sounds like a thing, but you actually so it's a similar situation where like the people felt like they weren't anymore, and they're really upset with what the government was doing, like essentially legally stealing money, more and more money from people without them being able to say anything about it. And then so yeah, similar situation with like and I mean, I don't know if it's exact situation because I don't know too much about the government here, but regarding like corruption, it's dealt with that a lot of times too, with the government being corrupt. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why right now I'm preparing to scholarship to study in Taiwan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm trying to study, make
You
it
know
more.
what? Uh, it's just I know you're doing civil engineering, but I mean, there's probably some civil engineers that semiconductors too. Maybe not too many, but this semiconductor industry is growing like insanely fast, really fast, because those semiconductor chips that Taiwan is actually like the number one producer of the semiconductors for all electronic devices, all computers, phones of the entire. I think they produce over 80% of all of them. So there's a lot of job opportunities there for those companies in Taiwan, and also a lot in the company like have you heard of Nvidia? You heard of
Nvidia,
that
yes,
company?
understand. My PC and
Yeah.
Nvidia.
Oh yeah. So they have a massive semiconductor company,
Massive.
and they're recently expanding, opening a big facility in the U.S., I believe in Texas. Um, and but they also work a lot with Taiwan as well. So that's a huge industry. So doing that scholarship, something to keep it. probably a lot of job opportunities for engineers, in that field. So
Yes, understand. So, my teacher said to, hey Carl, go join the scholarship in Taiwan. It's very good for you. Yeah, my teacher said like that.
yeah, yep.
Then I
And now
went and
that
take it.
and now that Trump is in office, you don't have to worry about China taking over Taiwan. That's not going to
Yeah,
happen. So
yeah.
you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah,
Because
my friends are reading me about
invading Taiwan.
China will attack like that. My
No,
friends.
maybe with Joe Biden, but not with Trump. That would not. That tried to do that. So you're safe. You're safe with Taiwan. So yeah,
Yes, of course. Okay.
at least for the 3.5 years. So
Ah, okay, but for me, I like to, if there's any chance to go to the Japan, I will take Japan then Taiwan.
yeah, I know. I've never been to either country. I mean, just the airports, transit through Taiwan before and through Japan. Never been in either country before, so I don't know. I don't really know anything about like the culture or the kind of people, like what the people are like there. But it seems like a good opportunity though, with Taiwan,
Yeah,
because because of the semiconductors, the economy. There's a lot of jobs there, so for sure.
a lot of my friends right now was going to Taiwan to work. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
but as not graduate from school, go to the Japan. He go to the Japan for
Gotcha.
better life. He said.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good opportunities in Japan because they're having a serious population crisis right now. The population and it
Yeah,
is plummeting. It's extremely fast because people are not having kids.
yeah,
There's so many families, couples, they just don't have kids, and there's no the next generation. There's not enough people to live in the houses that are built and apartments that are built in Japan. So what's happening is the government is subsidizing the rent and the mortgages for people to live in these housing. So it makes it really affordable and a lot cheaper now to live because they have a massive crisis going on, which is not good, but if you want to live somewhere that's pretty nice for cheap, yeah, Japan's a pretty good option, and they have a lot of job opportunities too. So
okay,
yeah.
understand. So, but
Do you understand my English pretty well, or
yes,
or
I understand you. But
you do? Okay.
sometimes I'm speaking very well, but sometimes I got very it's different. Like when I'm speaking
hard-
with my
it's
teacher, yeah, there's a word in my head, but if I trying to speaking and spelling, uh, sometimes it feels hard, but sometimes it's easy. How do I say it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Last time
I know.
I'm trying to
Let-
test grammar, I got 500 ESDL. But sometimes
Yeah, well,
I really hard to speaking sometimes.
Yeah.
But I understand.
I noticed.
understand.
I notice, at least for me, when I'm not thinking about it and I'm more relaxed and laid back, I remember stuff a lot easier than if I'm worried or stressed or nervous. Then I have a much more difficult time remembering the word in Indonesian. I remember there was one time in Bali recently last year. It was with my other business partner. had a we met up in Bali and spent about a week there. And I remember we took a taxi one night and in a grab, and we got a grab, and uh, I was having like a full on conversation with the driver, and I couldn't believe like how well I was doing. And then I thought about it later, and I'm like, oh, that's because I had a couple beers. It's like I drank a little bit, and I relaxed, and like my nerves and my like my self conscious just like was not like just was gone. Like it wasn't. So
Okay.
then like my brain was allowed to like think clearly without like that extra
Yeah.
nervousness. So I
Yeah.
remember like Patrick, my business partner, afterward, he's like, dude, like you're like fluently talking in Indonesia with the driver. That's insane. And I was like, yeah, dude, I don't know how that. I didn't know I knew that much. And like apparently, I was like, I knew like I was doing really well, and that was I remember that like still today. And I'm like, man, that's just like crazy how. I'm not saying I'm not trying to say it's okay to drink alcohol all the time. I'm just saying it's like it's where if you're more relaxed and calm, if you're able to like find a way to do that, then your brain actually is able to recall information much easier. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Because this is my first time I have conversation with really foreign people.
yeah, I'm used to it now. I've been going back and forth to Indonesia for 6 years, so I'm used to speaking to Indonesian people now. At first, that like same. I just remember I was so nervous when I had to ask someone where the toilet was, or what directions for something, or how to order food. I remember I would be so nervous. Now it's like, you know, it's still like I'm a little nervous because like sometimes there's still some words that I don't know yet and I'm still learning, but like the basics, like the very basics, it's like much easier now after practicing it more. So
Understand.
yeah.
But yeah, I have a question. What
Yeah.
in America that they are always individualism, yeah. But how do they typically greet each other in your culture?
Greet each other.
Yes.
Usually just handshake. Like handshake is common between like strangers if you don't really know them or you're just meeting them for the first time. It's just similar culture as Indonesia,
Oh.
but they always the younger person always puts the older person to their head when they greet them as a sign of respect. And, they don't do that in the U.S. The U.S. doesn't really have anything like that. It's more of showing respect when you meet people is through language. They'll usually call someone sir or ma'am if you're trying to show respect to someone older than you. You don't say, you definitely don't call them by their first name if it's someone is older. But yeah, it's very rude. So like for example, like you'd say like for my dad, if someone you don't know, you would say like Mr. Pacheco instead of Michael, just my dad's name, because it's a sign of respect. You're calling him Mr. And I guess that's why they do that with Boule here. They always call him Mr. because I think
Yeah.
that refer to a man. So, but yeah, it's yeah. So that's. But yeah, it is different though because that's the culture here is definitely much. They value like the respect with elders. People are older than you. It seems like a little bit more than how it is in the U.S. So yeah, and also it's kind of, I don't know if it's a little bit sad because like, for example, like a lot of people will judge someone based on like what their occupation, what their job is. Like they'll show them less respect because they're like say a trash collector and not a doctor or a lawyer. and then they'll show the doctor or the lawyer more respect over the person who's just picking up trash,
Okay.
based on what their job is. Which I think is really messed up, and I always try not to do that because it's you don't know anyone's history, you don't know anyone's like past, so um so the culture, like, I always try to practice in the US, which a lot of people, they still do. A lot of kind, respectful people, they show someone that has a very, you know say, like, a low paying job, they show them the same respect they would to, say, a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, even though they're in a different social class. They still show the same amount of respect. So just kind of cool. But not every. Also, a lot of people that there's also a lot of people that they, it's opposite. They don't even like to say anything to people that are like don't have a good job. They're very rude. But it depends on where you are, and like whether you're in like a big city or if you're in a like small town or something. So it's different. There's a lot of different parts of the United States, similar like Indonesia, where the culture is a lot different if you were to go to a different part. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Understand. So
that answered the question.
yeah, that answered all of the questions.
It's okay.
So yeah, I think that's all for the question. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
But I think thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Sorry
sure.
for that delay before. Waduh.
Okay. It happens with the technology. Sometimes it doesn't like to work. So, and I run podcasts and YouTube channels. So I totally that happens all the time with me. Something's not working. I get upset. So I gotta figure out what's going on. So no worries.
Have you come to Garut before?
So-
Garut? Have you come to Garut?
Garut,
before?
we drove through it before. We were going to Tasikmalaya. I think you drive through Garut on the way there, but I don't think we've. Oh wait, yeah, we have. We've been to Garut. There's a hot spring there, right, in Garut?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to a hot spring there one time. I remember that was about maybe 2 years ago. It was really nice. It's beautiful.
Have you
Yeah.
come to my home before?
Is that live in Garut?
Yes.
Ah, cool, nice. What did you ask? Sorry.
So have you come to my home before? I think you come. To
I can't remember. I think we might have. Bye. Have we been to his house before?
I don't know.
I
Is
can't
it the same
remember.
place as my cousins?
Do you guys have
Yes.
like a bunch of backyard like stuff?
We've been Miran's house.
Yeah, it's Miran's house.
Miran's house. Okay, yeah, we've been there. You have a bunch of plants in the back with
Yeah.
with like turtles.
Yes.
Yeah? Cool. Yeah, that was probably about 2 years ago we went there. Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow, time goes fast. It's crazy.
Okay. I think that's all. Yeah. So.
All right.
Jason, thank you because I had a class in the 11 o'clock. so
Oh, in
yeah.
minutes.
At campus.
Okay.
Yeah. I need to finish my project.
All right.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Thank
Worry,
you very much
don't
for your opportunity
It's not-
to.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your opportunity to finish my interview,
Yep.
sir. Yeah.
Yep. Of course.
Yeah.
I hope I did a okay job for your class. So.
Yes. I mean.
All right. I mean.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Sama-sama.